this loud.
Good evening, good Sunday evening to my beautiful crime family. And guess what? Guess what? Can you guys hear me okay and everything? I want to make sure I'm not squealing or none of that stuff. Wait, let me get rid of this too. Where is it? There it is. There I am. Let me lower this a little bit if I can. Okay, well, I'm back. We're still gonna run a celebration of life at some point, and that will be the end of the case for us. But how long from now, I don't know. I wanted to get out of this. I really did. I thought there's nowhere to go. There, there's nothing. There's nothing there. Then, you start reading documents again and watching videos, and you're going, there's just too fucking much. And I'm going to do something that's going to be very different. And I'll tell you about that a little bit later. We got one hell of a show lined up for you tonight. So stay right here because it's going to be good. And I want to say hi to my beautiful crime family. Debbie Gazzardo, my girl, good to see you. Coco, my girl, good to see you. Jackie Bushable, good to see you. Crime Spy, good to see you. Sam Morris, good to see you. Christina, good to see you. Simple Me, good to see you. Joe P, good to see you. Randy Fur, my brother, good to see you. Kim House, good to see you. Oh, there is a lot more to this case. Yes. I'm going to bring some of that shit out tonight. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. Hi, Mrs. Knapp. Good to see you. I haven't watched that one yet, I don't think. I see others have been running it, and it must be kind of in our favorite Kohlberger. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I'll have to check it out. Debbie Gazzardo, my girl, good to see you. Joey, good to see you. Jethro Troll, good to see you. Gemini, good to see you. Carolyn Wood, good to see you. Barbara, good to see you. Carolyn Wood, good to see you. T-Taj, good to see you. Sue Ann from South Africa. Good to see you. And Mark and Betty from across the pond. Good to see you. Elizabeth Wagner. Good to see you. Elizabeth, good to see you. See if I can pronounce that. Berezin? Is that correct? Yeah, Elizabeth Berezin, right? I think that's right. Good to see you anyway, again. And Transformer Uplifter, good to see you. Aggie, good to see you. Always good to see you. Thank you. Yes, brand new intro. I hope y'all like it. And Amy Conway, good to see you. Leo, good to see you. And to all the chatters out there, Jody, good to see you. I thank you and I welcome you. And Open Mind, good to see you. Reasonable Doubter, good to see you. I don't like missing. Delby, good to see you. Is in the house. And okay. Yeah, to all the chatters and non-chatters also. So anyway, yeah, I really wanted to get out of this case. I just thought everybody was overdoing it. It was probably me just being on burnout. Dana, good to see you. Deborah Thompson, good to see you. Dinah Sykes, good to see you. Musical Shrubs, good to see you. There's just too much. And I'll just tell you now, I'm going to get everything together that I can. And I hope other channel creators get in touch with me and tell me what their best things are, or best videos or clips of videos, because I'm going to the fucking FBI. I am. I mean, they know me. I know them. I'm going to the local office here. And I'm going to go and tell them what I think and show them things. Actually sit down. I'm going to ask for a good, at least half hour to an hour interview. And I'm going to show them everything about this fucking case that we know, and see where it goes from there. Hi, Deborah Ackland. Good to see you, my girl. It's just time somebody does something like this. And yeah, and yes, Cowgirl, good to see you. Who was it who said that? No, it went up too fast. And now I forgot what it said. Yeah, it would be secretly there, Cowgirl. Somebody said something and I lost it. Well, anyway, and I'm hoping that does something, opens up some doors that maybe a different FBI office can handle. Because apparently, but you know what's missing, people? You know what's missing? We haven't seen any FBI reports at all. ISP, MSP, and Pullman, nothing from the FBI. They're talked about, but we haven't seen nothing from them. So anyway, let's get on with the show, because you know what? There is a lot. There really is. And the first thing, let me see what I want to do first here, because this is going to be one hell of a show. Well, first of all, you know, the first thing I want to do is I want something to be explained. Hold on a second. Stupid ads here. Okay. We're going to, it's only a 10-minute video, and it's from our friend Harsh, and it explains the blood. And I don't know if you guys have seen this yet or not. He puts out, you know, a good 2 to 3 videos a day. I love the guy myself. Think he's awesome, even though he stood us up, what, twice? He'll be here someday. He will. I know he's a busy man. So, but let's take a look at what he has to say about the blood. And I think he's correct on this. I really do. I think he is totally correct on the blood. So let's take a listen here. It's explaining the 1122 King Road bloodbath. So let's take a listen. All right, whoop. I keep forgetting I got to do this. Here we go.
I'm going to get straight into the meat and potatoes because it is, in fact, or actually, it's Sunday. It's just Sunday, and we know we want to just crack on a Sunday, get it done, give ourselves a half day or something. You know what I mean? There's other things to do. So in that vein, let's not drag this introduction out any longer than it needs to. This video is just a bit more of a public service announcement because there seems to be a lot of confusion in the community. And I just want to clear things up. I am not doing this to call anybody out or to do anything other than to make sure that we're clear, you know, as individuals who are following this crime, that we're following the information and we are being accurate with what we say.
Yes.
And what stemmed this? Now, it wasn't just this post, and you know me, I've got much love for Sherlock here. And it says here, he's showing some pictures on his feed that was of some Amido Black testing that was done by the sliding door at 1122 King Road. Now, what he said here, while the bleed out pattern near the sliding kitchen door is horrifying, look at the very high velocity mist pattern at the bottom floor wall, what the actual beep. See, I'm trying not to swear today, which he's got a valid point. When you look at the bottom here, there's some incredibly dark patches that come up from here, which is quite interesting. On the grander scheme of things, this is quite interesting. But what we've got here is this section here, which I also want to raise because there seems to be a huge amount of confusion about how Amido Black works. And what a lot of people are thinking, we saw the pictures that, you know, depicted the kitchen. It was almost like a scene from fucking hell, I don't know, what is it? Saw, or that other one, Hostel, like that. Do you know what I mean? It was almost like someone had been chopped up in the kitchen and people were losing their fucking minds over it. But I'm just going to give you a quick lesson in a second and show you something. This post, I'm not going to go through the comments. This kind of threw up. I don't mean like, I mean like threw up some comments. So if you want to head over to Sherlock, show some love and have a look at the post and see what people were saying. But what I want to do is bring your attention over to here, and we're just going to discuss something. Now, Amido Black is a dye. It's a dye that is used that reacts with specific proteins, and they latch onto the protein. Now, the dye itself, which you're going to see here, is blue. Like we're going to watch this here.
Recreate the process they used during the investigation.
Is a little bit about the
treating
process.
partial
So get this
footprints
dye,
with a chemical
it's a
staining
mixture
solution.
of chemicals.
We used a chemical called Amido Black, which is a blood protein stain. And what it does is it makes the shoe print that's not visible, visible.
Amido Black is a synthetic acid dye.
So what you're seeing here is the dye being applied, and you'll notice that the dye is blue. So it's blue, and what they do is when they drip this through, the dye, the parts of this chemical then latches on to the proteins and sticks to it.
Unique
and what
very
you'll find
useful
is
properties.
the
amido black
leave the
process
there.
does cause the blood
in
to
theory,
darken
when they rinse
as the chemical reacts with specific blood proteins.
You see in this picture here.
Amido black solution dyes blood matter, but leaves the surface on which the blood lies unaffected.
And then we use a second chemical, which is a wash,
washes it, look.
and which just cleans up the shoe print itself.
The chemical.
So what we're saying is, the dye is blue. You'll apply it. That will, as you can see in this picture, that will then latch onto the proteins and stay there. But there is a massive, massive problem here. Now,
that's my computer.
Again, the chemical is blue, so we know that it's being poured. So if we go back to the Sherlock Holmes picture, you can see here that this is where they have done what the guy you've just witnessed that he has done. So they've poured the amido black and let it run down the wall.
Yeah.
Now, what we do not know is whether they have then treated this and washed all of the amido black off, or they've left it there to just see whether there is any darker proportions within the amido black
I'm thinking
to then
here,
leave them prominent. Because if they've poured the amido black solution on there and they've not seen any reaction in there at all, then the chances are they haven't bothered processing it any forward.
And he's going to go on and say there would be markers. You know what I mean? There would be markers if BLOOD showed up. And you know, I remember when I ran the video with the kitchen sink and everything. Well, yeah, I was saying there's a body in the sink, and you know, and that's what I mean about this case. I mean, there's so much out there, and people going crazy, and this is what drives me crazy. And but I'm glad Big Horse put this out, explain the amino black, blah blah blah, because, and I think the main point that he's making here is there would be markers. There would be some kind of markers marking that blood showed up. And there wasn't any markers on the sink. There wasn't any markers by the door. And I think that's why the pictures were taken, was to show that there's nothing there. Does that make sense, everybody? Does that make sense? Yeah, and that's I think that is Sherlock's page, that video he's showing. But I want to know if that makes sense to everybody. Yeah, it makes sense to me too. So let's I think we got what we needed to get out of this. We'll listen to it here a little bit.
To wash the initial application off.
Right.
And what also affects this massively is the porous nature of whatever that amido black has been placed onto. So if it's been put onto a surface that has got anything on there that this solution can stick to and make it become porous, like if this is a wallpaper, for instance, or a porous, almost like a matte paint, a water-based matte paint, for instance, there would be staining there. You would struggle to then get the base off. So you would be more heavily dependent upon the darker ridges and the almost go into black within that initial rinse. So this here, what I'm trying to say is this here doesn't mean that this is all blood. What you're witnessing here, what you're seeing here is not blood. Yep. Now, I can't be 100% sure, and we can't be 100% sure whether there is no blood here. And again, Sherlock picks up a very valid point here. Almost looks like a cast off in nature. But the downside is here is that this entry and exit point on this door is so high traffic that there could be remnants on here.
Just dirt.
That this could be reactant to. It's not just, it isn't, sadly, it's not fail safe. It's not that Amido Black purely and only 100% of the time will react to blood proteins. It will react to other things as well, albeit it shouldn't react as violently to it. So you shouldn't get a result, and that you could almost think that that is blood. My only point here would be if they'd considered that this was blood, they'd have potentially put a marker here to mark it as evidence. You'd have an evidence marker here, which they don't.
That is what they would do. And I think that's the main point I'm trying to get across on his video. And I think that's the main point he's trying to get across, is that there's people like me out there going, oh, look at, there's blood all over the sink, and it's not blood. So let's, let's clear that up right now. For one thing, there's no markers. If it was blood, there would be evidence markers all over that sink and all over everything. Nothing showed up, and that's why we know it's Amido Black. Anyway, so that's a good video, and of course he always has good videos. Harsh Reality. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to him, and make sure you hit that like button and all that good stuff. Harsh is good shit. Okay, so anyway, that's that. Now let me see what else, because we got so much to go through. Okay. Does anybody know anybody that uses it's called Kratom? Does anybody know about Kratom? I gotta see if you know about Kratom. Ooh, big red. Oh no. Okay, it's a supplement. Okay, but it's more than a supplement. I have friends that are so addicted to this that they eat it by tablespoons and just sit there and eat it. Totally put it in their mouth and eat it. Not make tea, they just eat it. We're hearing that it is loaded out there with Kratom. They're buying it like crazy. And let's take a look at what Kratom is. The thing is with Kratom, okay, when you do a blood test with Kratom, and you just say you're just totally high as hell on Kratom, it does not show in your bloodstream. It will come up as a supplement. As you see what I'm saying? It doesn't come through as a drug. For one thing, it's totally legal. Let's take a look at what Kratom is for those that don't know. Whoops, what happened here? Okay, there we go. So I looked up results are for Kratom, a drug. Okay, yes, kratom is considered a drug due to its psychoactive effects. Now remember, this is totally legal. You can walk right into any store and buy this stuff, and it's all over the place. Effects and potential for abuse, addiction, and withdrawal symptoms. Its legal and regulatory status is complex and varies by location, but health agencies like the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, and the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, have issued strong warnings about its risks. Kratom's drug-like properties, opioid-like stimulant effects. Kratom contains the psychoactive alkaloids, metagrenine and 7-hydroxymethyl, which bind to opioid receptors in the brain. At low doses, it acts as a stimulant, causing increased energy, alertness, and sociability. At high doses, it produces sedative, euphoric, and pain-relieving effects similar to those of opioids. Potential for addiction and abuse. Health agencies and researchers report that kratom use can lead to addiction, psychological dependence, and substance use disorder. Long-term users have reported withdrawal symptoms comparable to opioid withdrawal. Health risks. The FDA warns that kratom can cause serious adverse events, including seizures, liver toxicity, psychosis, and even death, especially when combined with other substances. Legal and regulatory status. No FDA approval. The FDA has not approved kratom for any medical use. The FDA has taken action against companies marketing kratom as a dietary supplement or food additive, stating that it is an unapproved new dietary ingredient. Designated drug of concern. The DEA lists kratom as a drug and chemical of concern, although it is not federally controlled substance in the United States. The DEA has attempted to classify kratom as a Schedule I controlled substance in the past. Varying state and local laws, the legality of kratom varies. Some states and municipalities have banned it, while others have implemented age restrictions or other regulations. So there's one on kratom. So kratom can be taken and it will not show up in the blood, even in autopsies. It will not show up. It will show up as a supplement. That's it. And this is huge right now, folks. It is huge. I have friends on this shit. It is huge. And we're hearing it's really huge in the universities, including Moscow. Now, what can it, when you're talking about something that can cause psychosis, you know, what part did any of this play in anything? And we'll get into that a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. So I'll share this. And geez, it's nice to have fastness and no lagging and stuff. Anyway, This is what Kratom looks like and what you should know about Kratom. If you think of street drugs as the most dangerous and legalized drugs as potentially dangerous, you'd probably rank an herbal supplement as the safest option. And that's exactly what many people think when they seek out Kratom. Whether people use it to get high, chill out, or feel more energetic, there's a misconception that Kratom must be safe. After all, you can find it on the shelves at convenience shops, gas stations, vape shops, as well as through online supplement websites. Just because it's sold legally doesn't mean there is any regulation guiding how it's marketed, says Corey Tellen, blah, 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 manager of behavioral health at the Henry Ford Brighton Center for Recovery. And even though it's sold as a supplement, it can have serious and sometimes dangerous drug-like effects. What is Kratom? Kratom is an herbal supplement derived from the leaves of a tree native to Southeast Asia. The leaves are dried and ground into powder, sold in pills or capsules, or sometimes brewed into tea. You can also find Kratom in a liquid extract form. At low doses, Kratom has a stimulant effect. Now we know that it seems like Xana was into the stimulant, like the Adderall, and it sounds like Ethan possibly was too. And there was some bluish powder with a rolled up dollar bill or something on the dresser. So it makes you wonder what else, because again, it will not show up in any autopsy. Where was I? What is Kratom? Kratom is an herbal supplement drug. Okay, I did that. At low doses. Okay, that's why you'll often find it at gas station stores right next to things like energy drinks. People use it to improve focus and concentration and give them more energy, says Tellen. And since there are no age restrictions to purchase it, teens as well as adults are using it. Even at low levels, Kratom isn't risk-free. It's a gamble because it's not regulated, he says. You could be getting more or less of the active ingredient than you think, or the product could contain contaminants like heavy metals. The dangers of Kratom use, as with most substances, the higher dosage of Kratom, the higher the risk of negative effects. At high doses, Kratom can have an opioid-like effect, says Tellen. So people use it to self-treat things like chronic pain, anxiety, and depression. Kratom binds to opioid receptors in the brain and throughout the body in the same way as opioids. For that reason, people sometimes take it to help them cut down on opioid use or to treat withdrawal, says Tellen. While that might sound like a good thing, Kratom can be just as dangerous as the opioids it's replacing. High doses can lead to nausea, seizures, overdose, and even death. While Kratom may be less dangerous than fentanyl, it's certainly not guaranteed to be a safe replacement because it's unregulated. It's unpredictable at best, says Tellen. It is too easily accessible for something that is at high risk profile. Now, I can see through some things, and this is huge because I know it's huge in this area and it's huge everywhere across the United States. And I can see why the FDA and all that, they want to get involved in this Kratom stuff. But I also see that Big Pharma is just waiting and probably talking to the FDA. You got to ban this stuff so we can get our hands on it. I can see that coming, right? Can you see Big Pharma coming soon with Kratom? I do. Which sucks, but it doesn't take away that Kratom is a drug. and it should be monitored in some way, in my opinion. Is Kratom addictive? You can definitely become physically dependent on Kratom and experience withdrawal symptoms similar to when trying to discontinue opioid use. That's because it's hitting the same receptors. That's why. We also see people fall into addictive behaviors such as continuing to use despite negative consequences. People using Kratom regularly often experience the same issues you might with other drugs and the same need to seek help for recovery. And then it goes on to how to get help. And maybe I should read this. If using Kratom is becoming an issue for you or a loved one, it's important to get help. A qualified addiction counselor or substance abuse program is a good place to start. There are lots of treatment options that can help people recover from Kratom abuse, says Keller. Treatment might include outpatient therapy, inpatient monitoring, or withdrawal or opioid replacement theory. Also warns people who've been to recover or other drugs or alcohol to avoid Kratom. I've seen people in recovery start to use Kratom thinking it's safer, but they can end up relapsing into the prior drug of choice or developing a Kratom use disorder. It may be marketed as an herbal supplement, but it acts very much like a drug. So there's a little information on something that's huge right now in the United States. I guess what I'm getting at here is, hold on a second here. Shorts? No, I don't. I don't even want to tell you what I was saying. Okay. So let's go on with this here. Okay, so this is 7-OH, and I don't know if you know about this or not. FDA takes steps to restrict 7-OH opioid products. 7-OH is highly potent opioid-like compound found in the kratom plant. It is often referred to as 7-O drug. While naturally present in trace amounts in kratom leaves, it is now sold in highly concentrated products that carry significant health risks. 7-OH is an active metabolite of mitragynine. I'm trying. Kratom's primary psychoactive alkaloid. The body's liver naturally converts some mitragynine into 7-OH, but modern extraction techniques are used to create highly concentrated products. 7-OH acts on the brain's opioid receptors, the same receptors targeted by narcotics like morphine, heroin, and fentanyl. It is estimated to be 13 times more potent than morphine and 10 times more potent than that mitragynine. But that's crazy. It's 13 times more potent than morphine. Can we go buy morphine in a store? Let me know if you find a place that sells morphine in a store. How much, I wonder, do these kids in Moscow during 2022, because this has been out and around for a long time, we're taking this shit. I mean, it can bring people to psychosis. People that go into psychosis usually are people that, you know, have some problems to begin with a little bit. People like, I don't know, some jack or something. Or anybody. I'm just saying. Availability: concentrated 7-OH products are marketed online and in retail stores at gas stations and vape shops, often disguised as candy, gummies, or drink mixes, making them appealing to young people. Use of concentrated 7-OH is associated with severe side effects and high potential for abuse and dependence, similar to classic opioids. Poison control centers and health authorities have recorded numerous health events. There's government warnings. The controversy: there is an ongoing debate regarding the regulation of 7-OH. Health officials, medical experts, and government bodies like the FDA warn that concentrated 7-OH is a dangerous and addictive opioid, calling it a potential fourth wave of the opiate crisis. Fourth wave of the opiate crisis. Advocacy groups. Some proponents argue that banning 7-OH disregards its potential therapeutic value and may overreach regulatory authority, favoring pharmaceutical companies over consumer choice. And I do see that. No doubt about it. And I forgot to share that screen while I was going, didn't I? I thought it just would pick up, but it didn't. Okay. Anyway, I was reading it off of Google. So anyway, that is quite disturbing, really. And then you hear rumors of it all over in the universities, and Moscow in particular was using and has been using kratom, and probably still is, because it's totally legal and it doesn't show up in your blood. So, yeah, that's kratom. And could it have had something to do with what happened? You know, it surely could. It surely could have. You just never know. There's so many theories, and that's what's so hard about this case, is it could go so many different ways. And I mean, from theories of like POVs to I know Lana's come out with stuff, and everybody's come out with stuff, and we could. That's why I wanted to give up. It's just going every which way but loose. Yeah, that was a good movie too. Can you believe that? I think Clint Eastwood, I think he's in his 90s. I mean, that's just fucking crazy. But anyway, yeah. So now I'm going to do some reading. And this is the shit. This is the shit that keeps me going on this case when I try to get away. Let me do this. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. I want to bring this up here. This is of interest, I think. I'll do this first before I get into the main thing, which is coming up here very soon. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna do some ripping. I'm gonna do some ripping tonight. So stay tuned for that. Let me show you this. Okay, so this is of interest first here, though. And the former Caldwell Police Department lieutenant convicted of falsifying records. And this is the District of Idaho, okay? Former Caldwell Police Department, a lieutenant convicted of falsifying records, witness tampering, and destruction of records. And isn't that funny? It's in September 2022. Boise, federal jury convicted a former Caldwell Police Department lieutenant of falsifying a record or document in a federal investigation. Ooh, not good. Witness tampering by harassment and destroying a record to impair its use in an official proceeding. The jury found Hoadley not guilty of willful deprivation of rights under color of law. Joseph Allen Hoadley, 42 of Caldwell, was convicted after a 5-day jury trial in U.S. District Court before Honorable Scott W. Scabdall, U.S. District Court judge for the District of Wyoming. He faces up to 20 years imprisonment and a $250,000 fine on each of the 3 charges. Sentencing is scheduled for December of 22. I'll have to look up and see what happened there. During the trial, the jury heard evidence that Hoadley, while employed as a lieutenant with the Caldwell Police Department, used force against BH in Caldwell in 2017 while he was detained and handcuffed. Hoadley falsified a subsequent police report detailing his actions during the incident. In 2021, knowing that he was the target of an FBI investigation, Hoadley harassed and intimidated CH with the intent to dissuade him from cooperating with the FBI investigation. In April 2022, after being indicted by a federal grand jury, Hoadley destroyed data on his city-issued laptop and cell phone one day before turning them over to acting Caldwell police chief, who had placed Hoadley on administrative leave because of the charges. The safety of our communities and our ability to uphold the rule of law depend on the honesty and integrity of the law enforcement officers. You think? Said U.S. Attorney Josh Hurwit. Said U.S. Attorney Josh Hurwit. And so we will never waver in prosecuting violations of the law, even when a police officer is the offender. I am proud of our prosecutors and staff for their work on this difficult case. I also commend the FBI for its thorough and fair investigation. Finally, I want to recognize the current and former Caldwell police officers who testified under extremely difficult circumstances. A press conference, blah, blah, blah. What's interesting here, and I'm just going to tell you this. What's interesting here is Josh Hurwit. Because when he was hired by the prosecution, I told everybody, this guy can federally charge a person. This person is badass. All right? Hurwit. How long was it after Hurwit was hired that Brian pled guilty? This makes me think of all kinds of things, people, because Hurwit will go after police officers. He doesn't give a shit. And he works and knows the FBI agents and works with them a lot more than any Moscow police department. Dude. See where I'm going with this? Parallel investigations going on, and all of a sudden Hurwit is hired on the prosecution side, and BK pleads guilty. Let your mind wrap around that a little bit. Come on, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Love Tina, my girl. Okay, well, let me plant something. Let me plant the seed. What if Hurwit was brought in on the prosecution side because maybe Bill Thompson's seen there's a bunch of bullshit? Maybe Hitler and Thompson are just acting. Think about this for a moment. Hurwit, who can federally charge people, is hired by Latah County. Then BK resigns. Hitler acts like a total asshole, shuts everything down on the defense. Think about this for a second. Think about this for a second. Could there be some police officers in huge fucking trouble? To the point where even the prosecution brings in somebody that can charge federally. Because Brian's case isn't federal. Think about this. Brian's case isn't federal. Why bring in Hurwit? Think about this. Could the prosecution be in on an investigation huger and bigger than Brian Kohlberger, but part of? Nothing's bigger than what happened. Unless people are trying to frame somebody that didn't do it. And if those people are police officers helping do the cover-up, you bring in someone federally. And who hired the federal prosecutor? The fucking prosecution. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? Think about that for a second. I got someone at the door. I'll be right back. So let me see what everybody's saying about this. Yes, they can, Coco. Oh, twat. She's on her phone out in the I'm seeing her pull out of my driveway right now. When I said there's someone at the door. Oh my God, twat, you are crazy. Oh, she stopped. She's typing, I bet. No? I can see her pulling out. Oh my God. Hey, right, Randy, crazy girl talk. Oh man. Right. Everybody's saying hi to you, twat. Well, she's driving now, but she's probably listening. Anyway, so yeah, WB, I don't know who actually called Hurwit, but all of a sudden he was hired by the prosecution. So I mean, I'm sure it was probably Bill Thompson, I'm thinking. Or that's almost who it'd have to be, wouldn't it? I would think. Exactly, Elizabeth. Exactly. And Aggie, okay. Rita. Yeah, Joe P. That's what I'm starting. I mean, he's not dumb. He's been doing this for what, 30 fucking years. He might have believed at first, but maybe the change isn't Ann Taylor. Think about this. Maybe the change isn't Ann Taylor. Maybe the change is in the prosecution. Prosecution reads everything, reads the ISP report, reads everything and goes, what the fuck? Never know. And calls in Hurwit. One thing I know, the prosecution would know that they know that how many police officers retired, how many just kind of disappeared and went, get office jobs or whatever the fuck they're doing because they're not on patrol. They see it all. And is it just a coincidence? A quinkadink? Is it just a quinkadink that Hurwit gets hired and BK then pleads guilty? Hitler acts like a total fucking asshole. Is that just a play? Something we got to think about. Something we have to think about. Now I'm going to read to you things that the prosecution must read and go, huh? Huh? Think about this. The prosecution isn't done. And they hire Hurwit, a guy that can charge federally. What'd they need him for? Really? What'd they need him for? So let's get on with this reading. I'll grab this here quick. And there's some things I'm going to introduce that we've looked at a million times, but maybe we haven't really seen it. And that's what I'm going to start with. Okay, here we go. And this is supplement number 37 of the Idaho State Police. Look at that. First of all, oh, wait a minute. I got to click on you guys here. Oh, no, I did. Okay. So the first thing I notice on this, right? Everybody notice this? Everybody notice this? Everybody notice this? Do I have to blow this up? Right, Red Riding Hood. Anybody notice it? Just asking. Anybody notice anything on there? Victim 3 is Kaylee Gonzalez. Victim 4 is Madison Morgan. Victim 5 is Xana Kernodle. Victim 6 is Ethan Chapin. Who the fuck is victim 1 and 2? Can't read it? Let me see if I can blow this up here. There. Victim 3, Kaylee Gonzalez. Victim 4, Madison Morgan. Victim 5, Xana Kernodle. Victim 6. Who the fuck is victim 1 and 2? Are you telling me that they're listing Bethany and Dylan as victim 1 and 2? What the fuck? They're not victims. Who the fuck is victim 1 and 2? Look at it. It's as plain as day. Victim 3, Kaylee Gonzalez. Victim 4, and there's nothing above here. No other victims. Victim 3, Gonzalez. Victim 4, Morgan. Victim 5, Kernodle. Victim 6, Chapin. Oh, that fucking dog out there. God dang it. Hold on. Sorry about that. Neighbor's dog and my cat is out. I wish they would chain their dogs up. No, yeah, isn't that crazy, Gemini? Is that crazy? I'm speechless. Who's victim 1 and 2? If they're listing DM and BF as victims, they're not victims. What the fuck? Who the fuck is victim 1 and 2? Or was there 6 people taken out that night and we don't know about 2 of them? Boom! Boom! Bam! All right, so let's get back to this document. Oops. I hate this thing in the way here. So, I hope you guys can read it. And it talks about here, there's like different witnesses. They got them all redacted, of course. They're talking to, there's going to be in this statement, witness 1, witness 2, witness 7, witness 8. White male, white female, white male, white male. Okay, recording of interview, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to read this because here's where I'm going to, here's where I'm going to be going on. Because this is some crazy fucking shit. And if people can't see through this shit, I'm sitting here going, what? And I'll tell you why. On December 6, 2022, ISP Sergeant Tim Hopkins and I interviewed blah, 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 blah. Okay. Reference the November 13th quadruple homicide in Mosow, Idaho, at the Idaho State Police District 3 office. The interview began approximately 11 a.m. and Showalter was accompanied by his mother. I'm just saying this is Jack Rogers Showalter. But he might have said something different here. He might not have gave him the Rogers. You see what I'm saying? He could have gave him Jack Showalter, or whatever. Jack, John, Showalter, whatever. He might not have gave him his real middle name because this looks pretty short to be Rogers. Anyway, the interview began at approximately 11 a.m. and Showalter was accompanied by his mommy. Why, at his age, why would you have your mommy with you? Why would he have his mommy with? Exactly, Latitude. Exactly. Power speaks. Remember, this is a family that donates to the university. Thousands of dollars. So anyway, let's go on. Jack Showalter informed me their family, friends, and harassment their family has been dealing with since Sunday. Okay, right here. Discussing the online and social media harassment. What is the first fucking thing out of his mouth? What is the first thing out of his mouth? Victimizing himself and his family. Like that's the main fucking point of this interview. Here it is. an interview about a quadruple homicide. And one, he says only one, which we'll get into in a bit, was his friend, and that was Maddie. So, but the first thing out of his fucking mouth, do you see? Do you see? I'm going to tear this shit apart. He's victimizing. He's victimizing himself and his family. There's number 1 point. Okay. Even her medical practice is now being pulled into the online rumors. Victim. I'm the victim. My mommy's the victim. I informed Showalter I wanted to focus on the days prior to the homicide. He pretty much kicked that right to the fucking side. I informed Showalter I wanted to focus. In other words, let's not focus on you fucking victimizing yourself on the days prior to the homicide. Showalter described the days prior as the usual. He went out to the bars on Thursday night for early weekend, then stayed home Friday to recover from a hangover and complete some school assignments. He then went out and drank on Saturday and stayed home to recover and watch football on Sunday. It was a typical weekend, and he can't remember that weekend being any different. I asked Showalter if he knew about the sorority formal on Friday. Showalter said, maybe. Said maybe. If you're the guy interviewing Showalter, if you're a trained ISP officer, would you see through this shit? Would you see through this shit? Oh, and there is so much more. Said maybe, but he really does not pay attention to such activities. He stated there's always something happening on campus, and he does not follow all the activities. He lives how far from Sigma Chi? He lives how far from the formal? And there's more to this. I can show you how it's a big fucking lie. I asked Showalter if he was aware there was a party at the house where the homicide occurred, 1122 King Street, King Road, actually, Moscow, Idaho, on Friday night. Showalter said he was unaware of a party on Friday, but thought there was a party at the house on game day, Saturday. However, he was not sure there was a party at that house. Do you see what I'm saying here, people? Do you see? Can you see through this shit? Or is it just me? For one thing, I don't think there was a party at that house at all. He's trying to make it seem like, oh, I don't know anything. Oh, there was a party there, I heard. Even though he knew there was not a fucking party at that house on Saturday. Because there were 6 or 7 houses on King Street that Saturday having parties. Oh, wait a minute. Slow night? Oh, wait a minute. The MPD said it was a slow night that night. Because there were 6 or 7 houses on King Street on that Saturday having parties. What the fuck? Huh? Showalter only went to the parties at the blank. I'm not sure what that is. Let me see if my producer might know. Oh. Okay. Not sure what that is. Where are we at? At the okay, only went to the parties at the blank. Oh, probably it might be the Whites. Maybe no, maybe not. Building on game day, Saturday. So Walter rarely attended such parties because many times there are freshmen and sophomores at such parties, and he does not like partying with the younger classmen. Oh, do I smell bull? I should have put a little brown piece of shit right there. So Walter usually stayed at his own apartment and attended functions at his fraternity. Wait a minute. His fraternity? No. Does anybody know what's wrong with that statement? Does anybody know what's wrong with that statement? Let me see how. Anybody know what's wrong with that statement? Anybody know what's wrong with that statement? Because he was kicked out of. Yes, thank you, Cryptic. He was kicked out of the fraternity. He was kicked out of the fraternity. Yet he's sitting here saying attended functions at his fraternity. Blank, blank, blank. I went to the bars. Therefore, Showalter does not pay a lot of attention to parties off campus. I asked Showalter to walk me through his entire day on Saturday, November 12th, 2022. Showalter informed us it was difficult. It was difficult since he was drinking all day that day. He's already setting up. I mean, okay, think of it this way. You're watching a TV program. You're watching a real, actual interrogation. What do you think of this kind of this is where picture it that way. Picture it that way. Picture this going on. And what this ISP officer's got to be thinking in his head when he actually knows a lot of the stuff. So, informed us it was difficult since he was drinking all day that day. So he's already setting up that he's going to say, I can't recall, I don't remember. Does this sound familiar? He did not attend the game, but did go to the party at the Whites. Okay, that should be Whites right there. He went back to his apartment, then later out to the bars. Showalter claimed he did not remember a lot of. Here we go. Claimed he did not remember a lot of specifics, but there were people everywhere. MPD says what? Slow night. It was a slow night. Here you got Showalter saying there's people everywhere. He knew some of the people, many he did not know. So it's already setting that up too. Do you see how it's being set up? Do you see how he's setting this up? If the ISP interviewer, investigator, interrogator doesn't see through this shit, then he's a dumbass. Showalter explained for the first 3 years of college, he had a girlfriend. Really? And was in a relationship. Okay. He did not really party and meet a lot of people during that time. He spent most of his time working on the relationship. As a result, Showalter does not know the number of people other seniors do, and he does not talk to the individuals he does not know. Showalter believes since he does not know a lot of people and does not talk to a lot of people, he has a suspect reputation. He's already setting up We're in the 7th line. We're probably 2 minutes into this. And he's already setting up. I'm going to look suspect. Reputation. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Huh? See what I'm saying? Maybe she did that, and maybe she's saying that on purpose, Cryptic. Exactly, Joe P. No one liked Jack Showalter. That's why. People, yes. Oh, Christina gets it. Yep. He's definitely trying to distance himself. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Red Riding Hood. Yes. But I can see through this shit. I'm good at this kind of shit. I'm really good at this kind of shit. And I can see right through it. Anyway, back. Showalter preferred to hang out with friends he does not know. He does not talk to them. I then asked Showalter if he was with Jack Schreiger on Saturday. And that's who that is right there, folks. Showalter said yes, and described Schweiger as his good friend. Showalter could not recall. Here we go. Could not recall. Remember, he was drinking all day. He already set that up so he can say this. Do you see what I'm saying? He already set it up that he's not going to remember stuff. I can't remember. I can't recall. This is. This is so used throughout court systems by liars. I don't recall. I can't remember. I can't. You know what I'm saying? And here we go. Showalter could not recall when he met up with Schweiger that day, but he believed Schweiger and blank blank. I have a feeling this is a female. Okay, I need to check on something quick here. Okay, just checking. Where was I? Could not recall that he met up with. But he believed, yeah, and blank blank. I do believe that's female. Came to his apartment. They all went to the party at the Whites. Okay, and that's the Whites' apartment. Okay. Showalter then looked at his phone and found a text message. Showalter then looked at his phone and found a text message. Now, isn't that weird? You think he just looked at it, or do you think the ISP officer asked him to look at his text messages? It's funny, it doesn't say that. Anyway, Showalter then looked at his phone and found a text message string between he and Schweiger. Same text message string FBI agent O'Neill photographed on Showalter's phone. And the first text was sent by, I think that's Showalter, on Saturday at 4:16 p.m. to Schweiger. It simply said, "Yo." Schweiger replied, "What's up?" And Showalter asked if Schweiger was still at the Whites party. It must be, I do, at the Whites. I don't know what this is. Oh, Schweiger informed him he was, and he was going to get some food. Schweiger asked where Showalter was, and Showalter informed him he was back at his apartment getting ibuprofen for his back. Showalter asked Schweiger to grab him a couple of beers if there were any left, and that was the last text message between those two. After reviewing the text string, I informed Showalter it appeared he and Swagger had been at the party prior to the start of the text string. Showalter believed they went to the party at the Whites around 1 to 2 p.m., but he could not recall the exact time. He did recall seeing Maddie Morgan and Kaylee Gonzalez, but he didn't know Kaylee. How did he know that was Kaylee? And all the residents of the 1122 King Road going outside and taking the photograph everyone sees now. So he was there when they went outside to take that last picture that everybody sees right now. Isn't that something? Showalter knew Maddie the best. Okay. Well, there's a big blow up in wording is so important sometimes, because he said he didn't know them except for Maddie. So now Showalter's saying knew Maddie the best. So he knew the others slightly, right? He knew them, but he's trying not to admit that. He had known her since freshman year because they had classes together and she would hang out at the blank fraternity house. Showalter said while attending the party at the Whites, he made several trips to his apartment to stretch and deal with his sore back. And that to me is a little fishy too. He wasn't going back to stretch his fucking back. I'm sorry. Showalter claimed after the text string with Swagger began, he did not return to the party at the Whites. I asked Showalter if he remembered going to the blank's house with blank, and I'm not quite sure yet who that is. Okay. Wait a minute. Going to the blank house with blank. Showalter replied, not really. Then said that is why he agreed to go to the other bar with Kaylee and Maddie. He knows Kaylee then. But he agreed to go to the bar. Now, what is he doing? He's setting it up with this word right here. Agreed. And what he's setting up for, people, agreed, is that they asked him to go along. Not that he was a tag along and was following them. That's my opinion, because he's setting it up. It's the way, it's all in wording. It's all in wording. So then said that is why he agreed to go to the other bar with Kaylee and Maddie when they asked. See that? He does the same thing every weekend, and it's hard to remember. He set that up way long time ago in this interview. There is no way in hell Kaylee and Maddie asked for that mofo to be with them. You're talking about a guy that skins coyotes and leaves them out. No, he gets in fights all the time, which he talks about later. There's no way in hell they asked him, and they were trying to ignore him the whole time at the grub truck. There's no way in hell they asked him to go to the bar. I confronted Showalter. I confronted. It's all in wording, right? I confronted Showalter with the information we had gathered, reference. He and Schweiger had been picked up by a fraternity DD, designated driver, driven to get food and beer, then dropped off at blank blank fraternity house. Showalter responded, that would not be out of the normal. So he's already setting up. He does not specifically, and this is supposed to be not right in here, but did not. I mean, can you see that? That would not be out of the normal, but did not specifically recall. Sergeant Hopkins asked Showalter about purchasing a 30-pack of beer and splitting the beers between himself and Schweiger. Showalter did not recall if they purchased a 30-pack. Again, does not recall if they purchased a 30-pack on Saturday. You know what? I don't know. I've been on a lot of drunks, people. I've been a lot of drunks. And I remember getting a 30-pack. I'm sorry. I remember going to the liquor store. I don't care how drunk I am. I go, if I can walk and I can go into a liquor store and buy a 30-pack, I can remember. Anyway, but it was normal for him and blank to purchase beer and split it up between the two of them. So he's acknowledging, yeah, I kind of know. I kind of know. Fuck him. He could not remember if they did it Saturday because they were drinking all day. Well, geez, Mr. Showalter, do you remember maybe committing a quadruple homicide? If you can't remember going to a liquor store, maybe you don't remember that either. Huh. I think you don't remember too much. That's what I think. Sergeant Hopkins asked what type of beer they typically drank and purchased and blah, blah. Usually Keystone, natural ice. Oh, yeah, it ain't cheap. That's cheap shit. I instructed. Now it's instructed. I instructed Showalter to refer to the text string between himself and Schweiger and look at some of the communications on Monday, specifically where he was asking Schweiger if he wanted the bag back. Da, da, da. The bag back. Oh boy, here we go, people. Here we go. There it is. What have we been talking about for a long time? Black backpack. A backpack. They call them bags, whatever. Let's keep reading because it gets even better. Because the bag, okay, then, oh, wait a minute. Bag back. Showalter read the text string. Then he remembers. Then remembered he did borrow a bag from Schweiger. He did borrow a bag from Schweiger. Why is that important? Oh, I think it's important. I think it's very important. You know why? Because then he remembered he did borrow a bag from Schwager that Saturday. He and Schwager were at the blank house, and Schwager had passed out. Showalter took a bag from Schwager and filled it with approximately 15 beers. He believed he went back to his apartment. He believed, see how the wording means everything? Because if he said, I went back to my apartment, and that's a lie, he can always go back. Well, I said I believed. I wasn't sure. You see what I'm saying? Everything is fucking wording. And these kids know what the hell they're doing. They're not stupid. He believed he went back to his apartment because the bag was at his apartment. And he had to return the bag to Schwager. Now, what kind of bag was found out in the back of the house at 11:22? Does anybody know what kind of bag that was? Anybody remember? Exactly, Miss Johnny Knapp. Yes, Joe P. Isn't that special? Huh? Isn't that special? He borrowed a bag while Schwager was passed out, grabbed his bag, filled it with approximately 15 beers. I don't know about all that. He believed he went back to his apartment because the bag was at his apartment, and he had to return the bag to Schwager. Now, Schwager's pretty much disappeared, right? Very, very interesting when you consider that a cooler bag was found in between his place and in the yard of the 1122. Showalter did not see Schwager again that day or night because Showalter went to the bars and Schwager did not. I asked Showalter how he got from his apartment to the corner club. Showalter responded, probably, again, all in wording. All in wording. He's covering his ass in case he can come up with another story. He responded, probably a designated driver. Showalter did not recall the clothing Schwager was wearing Saturday the 12th. The next contact Showalter had with Schwager was Sunday morning sometime. Blank, blank, and I do believe this is a female, was with Schwager driving to get some food. Blank called Showalter and asked what was going on at the house down the street from Showalter's apartment. Showalter indicated he already told us what happened after that in previous interview. Do you get what he's doing? He did not want to confuse his story. So he just said, I already said that in a previous interview. I can see through this crap. I can see through this fucker. I'm sorry for my language, but I can see right through this dude. I can see right through him. It's the wording. It's the wording. He didn't want to confuse his story. So what does he say? So Walter indicated he already told us what happened after that in the previous interview. He doesn't have to say it again. He doesn't want to say it again because he doesn't want to fuck up his lies. So Walter could not remember anything out of the normal that weekend. He had said goodbye to Maddie and thought he would see her in class after they got picked up at the food truck. Okay, remember this right here, too. Okay, he had said goodbye to Maddie. Okay, so Showalter described Schweiger as laid back and quiet. If people don't know him well, they would view him as an outsider. Now he's kind of almost throwing Schweiger under the bus, saying he's an outsider. Schweiger is very quiet, will not open up unless he knows you. Showalter said Schweiger is a great guy and knows he would not have done this shit for sure. They've been friends since the 7th grade. They attended blank and Schweiger blank and U of I together. Schweiger has always had Showalter's back. Schweiger has always had Showalter's back. And Showalter described Schweiger as a ride or die buddy. Painting Jake as an outsider. Showalter informed us Maddie cared about Schweiger because they used to be close. Used to be? Okay. Used to be. Were they broke up, people? Were they broke up? Schweiger, whatever his name is. Weren't they still together? Exactly, Barbera. Exactly. What the fuck? Used to be? Exactly. Exactly. You know what? You know why he said that? Because he was after Maddie, people. It's all in the word. You can catch this fucker in shit. You can catch this dude by just watching and listening to what he says. Because they used to be close. Schweiger and Maddie had an on and off again. I don't know what that is. Blank relationship in the past. It worked for Schweiger because Schweiger did not want a girlfriend. Excuse me. But Showalter claimed it was difficult to describe because Schweiger did not really talk about those things or brag about girls. This just makes me go. Showalter knew Schweiger and Maddie had gone on a trip to Cabo, Mexico, or however you pronounce it, with a large group of U of I students during spring break last year. Showalter did not go on the trip, which was arranged by a guy in the blank fraternity, whatever fraternity this is here. I'm not all up on what fraternities or what, except for I know Sigma Chi really well. Schweiger did not have a sexual relationship with anyone else living in the 1122 King house. So this must have been asked, right? Right? It must have been asked. Did he have a sexual relationship with anybody else in the 1122 King house? He said he did not. Zion Kernodle had been in past relationships with blank and another guy blank. Did not know, but she appeared happy with Ethan Chapin. Yes, she did. Showalter did not know Kaylee. Huh? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. He was at the party at the White's apartment where they go out and they take that picture, and he talked about Kaylee and Maddie being there, and they went out. He did not know Kaylee. He walked with him from the corner bar to the fucking grub truck. But remember, he knew Maddie best. He knew Maddie best. And moving on. Did not know Kaylee and didn't know she used to date the blank known to be blank. Now, I'm thinking this has something to do with the frats. What's the leader of the frats? There's a certain name. What is that? Does anybody know? What's the name of the top guy of a frat? That's what I'm thinking this is. Let me see if you guys, I'm on a different page. I can't see you guys. Yeah, and Coco will be helping me out there. Rogaine Jack, right? They just call him President. Is that all? I thought there was like a nickname that they had. That's what I was thinking that was. Or maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm not sure. I just know here it says, and didn't know, and it's talking about Kaylee, and didn't know she used to date the blank. And you can see there's a parentheses here. You see that little, they missed the parentheses thing here. So used to date the blank, known to be blank. Okay, whatever. So Walter did not know, and a big long name goes on even to here. He indicated he may recognize them if he saw a photograph, but he does not know them. The only individual he knew from the house. Oh, okay. Oh, it's funny they redacted all that. Only individual he really knew from the house was Maddie due to mutual classes together. What about the party pic? He's already talked about that. What about the party at the Whites? And are you going to tell me they've been there since, whenever they got there, June or whatever, and they haven't been at parties around the area together? I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Showalter did not know the number of times Swagger had been inside the 1122 King residence, especially since Swagger had been banned from the Corner Club for a while, and Showalter did not know what Swagger was doing while Showalter continued to frequent the bar. Showalter expanded on Swagger's ban at the Corner Club. He indicated there was a 2-strike system at the bar, and after you had 2 strikes, you were banned by the bar for a period of time. Showalter admitted it was his fault for Swagger being banned, and they both should have only have 1 strike. Showalter admitted he and Swagger are hotheads. Hotheads. Huh. That's interesting, don't you think? So, again, in my opinion, okay, this is my opinion, he knows what he's known for. He knows that he's got a hot head and that he's known for that. So he's setting it up already. He's setting it up already by admitting to it. Yeah, I'm a hothead. I have a hot head once in a while. I can see through this shit. And will hold their ground. Showalter said Swagger already had one strike at the corner club for arguing with the bartender. When Showalter got drunk at the bar and began arguing with the boyfriend of a girl he liked. Okay, so you like a girl, but she's got a fucking boyfriend? And you're arguing with the boyfriend because you like the girl? Huh. You are a fucking weirdo, dude. The argument escalated, and Showalter pushed the boyfriend. The bartenders broke up the argument and blamed Swagger. As a result, Swagger received his second strike and was banned from the corner club until February. Even though, and he's admitting, Showalter's admitting he's the one that argued with the boyfriend of a girl he liked. So in other words, he's the type of person. Think about this. He's the type of person that he doesn't care if a girl's got a boyfriend or not. He's going to hassle them. And we heard that he was actually hassling Kaylee and Maddie that night at the bar. Everybody's heard that. We've all heard that, right? We've heard that. He doesn't say nothing about that, of course. Probably not enough to get that second ban strike, but he was harassing them. And that's why they acted the way they did. Showalter admitted he and Swagger have gotten into fights with other individuals. He explained they don't look to hurt people. See, he's covering for himself. He's admitting that he's gotten into fights because he knows they're going to find this shit out. So he's got to cover his ass. He explained they don't look to hurt people. They are generally drunken arguments, and most of the time they involve individuals from other fraternities. I asked Showalter if he noticed any strange alumni or strangers while attending the party at the bank leg. Did not recall seeing anyone out of place while he was at the party at Corner Club. Showalter said after the girls were picked up from the food truck, he did not want to wait for a ride and did not even know if his DD, designated driver, was even still accepting calls. So he walked home. Let me ask you this. Everybody's seen the grub truck video, right? Everybody's seen the grub truck video. Which way did Showalter take off when he took off half jogging after the girls left? Which way? Did he take off towards his house? Did he take off towards his house? Think about that. Think about it. Think about it. Grub truck video. Did he go back towards the grub truck, or did he go towards the home? Yes. No, not towards the house. He went back towards the bar, the way they came from. He did not walk home, people. He did not walk home. Anyway, so he walked home. Showalter informed us it was no big deal to walk home. When they were at the food truck, he believed he and the girls were going to another bar. No, they were trying to dump his ass, for one thing. But they were drunk and got a ride home. He presumed. Excuse me. He presumed Huh? What? He presumed. So is he saying he doesn't remember? This guy, there's nothing but shit coming out of this guy's mouth. There's nothing but shit coming out of this dude's mouth. Why can't they see this? Yeah, I believe. Exactly, Barbara. I believe. That's pretty much what he's saying. In other words, why didn't he just say, I know for sure they jumped into a car. Because he was right there. He seen him jump in. Anyway, maybe he does say that. Let's see. Due to the homicides and the rumors circling around campus that classes could go online, he made the decision to return to Boise. Mm-hmm. On his way out of town, he stopped and saw Swagger. So Walter returned the bag he had taken to transport the beer on Saturday and an HDMI cable he had borrowed to watch football. Interesting. I wonder if they asked Swagger about that bag. I think that would be pretty huge. And if he did return the bag, there's two different things that you can look at this bag. You can look at it that he borrowed the bag from Swagger and he put beer in it and then left it in the back by the house. Or there's three different ways. Or he did what he said he did and brought it home and then returned it. Or it could be the black bag that we've been hearing about that actually got stolen from the Moose Club. And it could have had $20,000 in that black bag. It's funny how we hear about this black bag way long time ago, right at the beginning of the case, that there was a black bag with $20,000 stolen from the Moose Club. Well, you know what? The Moose Lodge. And that's another thing. Did you know that there's a hotel, I can't remember the name right now. I should have saved that article. But there is a hotel that the students call the Lodge. So was that black backpack stolen from the Lodge, the hotel, and not the Moose Lodge? That's something to think about also. Did you guys know that there's a hotel that the students nicknamed the Lodge? There is. Telling you that right now. Anyway. Showalter was active in the blank fraternity. Showalter lived at the fraternity house, paid rent and his dues. Or no, I'm sorry, that's Swagger. Swagger lived at the fraternity house, paid rent and his dues. Swagger was also the blank for the blank fraternity. I don't know what to say. President, maybe that's what that is. Was also the president for the blank fraternity. Could be. Let me look and see. My producer's saying anything? No, not saying a word. Okay. So where were we? Lived at the fraternity, paid rent. Okay, it was also. I'm thinking that's president for the blank fraternity. Anyway, Showalter is also a blank member and has been since his freshman year. Well, we know that he got kicked out of that. And it's funny that he even says that because that's so easy to find out. I think. Anyway, maybe not, because, the fraternities, they have that code of honor. So maybe he knows he's protected and can say that. So Walter only pays his dues, which gives him access to the fraternity and 1 meal a week. So Walter usually eats at the fraternity house on Mondays because the house chapter meetings are conducted every Monday. Okay, again, is the fraternity going to cover for him that he was kicked out of there, or maybe his suspension was over by that time? I don't know. Sergeant Hopkins and I asked about the house known as blank, located at blank. So Walter informed us blank is an off-campus house associated with the blank, blank, blank fraternity. I'm not sure what fraternity. I got to look here. Upperclassmen often transition out of the fraternity house and move into blank. Sometimes other individuals will rent a room at the house. At one time, a football player was living there, and even a professor stayed there for a while. I asked Walter if he had any knowledge about Kaylee having a blank relationship with a blank, with a blank, excuse me. Blank. Walter stated he had heard rumors, but thought they were weird because the rumor he heard was Kaylee was involved with a blank, blank, or blank. And he understood Kaylee. Oh, for somebody that doesn't know Kaylee, he sure knows a lot about fucking Kaylee. Right? Understood Kaylee was, and then there's that, you can see they missed that parenthesis thing again. Blank, blank, believed to be an outlandish rumor, and it would be more believable if it was a blank, blank. For somebody that doesn't know Kaylee, he knows her pretty good. That's all I'm saying. So Walter again informed us he did not really know Kaylee. So you see what's happening? He actually, oh my God, people, think about this. He actually sees himself and hears himself talking how much he knows Kaylee. So he goes back to that he doesn't really know Kaylee. Now he's going back to reinforce what he was saying. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So Walter again informed us he did not really know Kaylee and did not know if she had a job. His only connection to Kaylee was due to knowing Maddie. He's a lying sack of shit. So Walter did not even initially know Kaylee was the girl with Maddie at the corner club on Saturday night. But he named her. He fucking named her taking a picture that day at the White Sox. What the fuck? Can't people see through this shit? This is unbelievable. This is the biggest bunch of bullshit interview I've ever seen in my life. Right, Elizabeth? Oh, no doubt. Yeah, way back when they were like 16 years old with Bethany. He knows that whole house. Ooh, yes, Nana Cal. That last word, I think, plays a big role. I think that last word plays a big role in this. At least on a couple of them. Okay, let's keep this going here. Okay, Showalter did not even initially know Katie was the girl with Maddie at the corner club on Saturday night. What a lying sack of shit. Oh my God. And now think of the interrogator, right? Think of the person that's interviewing, because he had already said way up there that Kaylee and Maddie, and I mean, he actually named Kaylee, went out to get their picture taken at the White's apartment. So he's a liar. He knew that was Kaylee at the bar. How big of a lie is that? Did not initially know Kaylee was the girl at the corner club on Saturday night. I can't even believe he said that. It was a chance encounter seeing Maddie at the bar. Wait a minute. It was a chance encounter. People, it was a chance encounter. Didn't he just say up there that they asked him to go? Didn't he just say up above that they asked him to go to the fucking bar? It's all in wording. If I was this interrogator, I'd be going, this motherfucker is a liar. Excuse my language. My fucking God. I can't even believe this. It was a chance encounter seeing Maddie at the bar, and he had been talking with only Maddie. It was Maddie that invited him. Yeah, he was hassling her. It was Maddie that invited him to go. It was Maddie. Now he knows what I'm getting confused. It was Maddie that invited him to go with them to John's Alley to get some food. But they decided to get food at the food truck. No, they were trying to dump your ass, dude. That's what they were trying to do. Since returning to Boise, Showalter has been hanging out at home playing Xbox. He has gone out to the bars with, wait a minute, that must be Swagger here. Returning to Boise, Swagger has been hanging out at home playing Xbox. He has gone out to the bars with Showalter a couple times, but has been staying at his house most of the time. Swagger did inform Showalter someone had called a tip into the police pretending to be his mother. So someone called in a tip pretending to be Showalter's mother. I think people are on to Showalter, and I think people are scared of the Showalters. They hold a lot of power in that town. And I'm just saying, I know, and I've gone over people that I think are involved, right? Everybody knows that. I've gone over the Gages, the Jonas, the Mollys, the Jimmys. But this man right here has a part. I just don't know what it is. And that's what can drive people crazy in this fucking case. And you have fraternities and sororities that will back their people. They will cover for them when push comes to shove. That's the way it's been set up for centuries. I didn't get to this part, last page, and I couldn't. I didn't have enough time. I was racing to get this shit done, people. Showalter discussed some of the internet rumors accusing him of the homicides. Everyone continues to ask him what happened that night, and he informs them he has no idea. No idea. No, I don't remember. I don't remember anything. He has always thought the students would figure out who committed the homicides before the police because they know the community better than the police. Now, you got that right. Now that the homicides have not been solved and the students do not know who committed the crime, everyone is scared. Sergeant Hopkins and I asked Showalter about the most recent issues resulting in blank for blank, blank, blank. Showalter informed us a video of freshman hazing other freshmen was the most recent issue. A parent had seen a video of freshmen throwing another freshman's bed out of a fraternity house on a second floor window. Sergeant Hopkins asked about issues at a sorority function. Asked about a sorority function. According to Showalter, there were 2 issues at the sorority's off-campus function. I thought he didn't know anything about these. I thought he didn't know anything about what goes on. He said that earlier, remember? I don't know the activities or what they do. Well, here he's saying just the fucking opposite. See, I would be a hell of a... I don't think they'd want me to be the interrogator. I'm telling you that. Let me at them. Let me at them fuckers. Let me at them. I twist and turn them around. They wouldn't even know what the fuck they're doing or saying. According to Showalter, there were 2 issues at the sorority's off-campus function. The first involved blank and blank. Blank was picking on a guy at the party, calling him Kermit the Frog. That's funny. I have a brother-in-law, and his name is Kermit, and we tease him every once in a while and call him Kermit the Frog. Eventually, a scuffle broke out, and blank was just backing up blank once the scuffle started. The other incident at the same party involved a couple of blank freshmen throwing hangers and causing damage to the... Of course, he's going to talk about freshmen doing things and, not putting anything on anybody that would be involved in this case. These issues did not cause trouble for the blank fraternity since it was not a blank function. But the individuals involved are in trouble themselves. At the end of the interview, I asked Showalter if he would consent to us getting a set of major crime fingerprints from him before he left. Showalter agreed, and ISP Forensics printed Showalter. At approximately 1:32 p.m., the major crime prints were completed. Now, if you look at this interview, and this is the second one, I do believe, that's 1:32. When did it start? When did it start? Second interview. And again, please, people, tell me. Victim 3, Gonzalez. Victim 4, Mogan. Victim 5, Kernodle. Victim 6, Chapin. That just gets to me. Who the fuck is victim 1 and 2? Because it really can't be BF and DM because they're not victims. They weren't killed. These are victims. They're listing victims. So who's victim 1 and 2? Are we missing people? Anyway, what was I looking for here? The date of this, or the time. Around 11 a.m. So he went, what, 2.5 hours? Approximately 2.5 hours. There's a lot missing then. I want to hear it. I want to hear this interview. I want to hear it because there's a lot more missing in this. There is a lot more to this. Crazy, fucking crazy people. You know what? I think I'll save that. I should have wrote shit on there, right? Oh, I did. I was thinking of something too. Shit show out there. Yeah, shitty show out there. That's what we should name them. Shitty show out there. Crazy stuff, people. And I'm hoping you guys see like I see. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that because I haven't had a shit Walter, yeah, shitty shit Walter. Shitty shit Walter. Hey, I want to introduce you to my friend, Shitty Shit Walter. He doesn't hit me yet. He's gonna hit me now, right? Oh, exactly. Who said that? Gemini. Then he calls the cops to sound like he cares. Yeah. It's just, it's everything that guy puts out. Now, another thing I need to tell you about is, let me see if I got this here. How did I? Let me look at something quick. There's a very good hold on a second. I got to fix a couple things. Okay. Oh, is that the one? Yeah. So this is. Hold on a second there. I'm sorry. Maybe let's add stop here. Okay. I know some people don't get into this kind of stuff, and I don't, but I do. I have gone to one of Sylvia Brown's shows live down in Minneapolis. I've read her books. I've also read other books like, I've read a lot of those kind of books. But I haven't talked much about it on here because people get a little weird on it. And I'm talking about a very, has anybody heard of Sloan Bella? Anybody ever hear of Sloan Bella? Sloan Bella, anybody? Elizabeth does. Oh, here comes the yeses. Okay, that's good. Oh, whole bunch of yeps. Coco, hell yeah. Okay, well, she's a very well-known psychic and tarot reader, okay? And she did a reading on Jack Showalter. Lasted about a half hour. When she was done with the show out there, that was the darkest she had ever seen. it kept her up for weeks. That reading kept her up for weeks. Okay. I got mixed up. I got mixed up. It was Revelation Tarot that did the show out there, and that said that he was so dark that she couldn't even do it anymore, and it kept her up for weeks. Now we're working on getting Revelation Tarot on the show, but I want to ask my family, would you like Revelation Tarot to be on the show? Does everybody know Revelation Tarot? Okay, good. Here comes the yeses. Yes. Okay. Okay, we're working on that. She's actually agreed. We just haven't set a date. So at some point, Revelation Tarot is going to be on the show. And she's the one that read Showalter and said that it was just really, really dark. And it kept her up that it was that bad. So we'll have a lot to talk about. And Sloan Bella is the one that did the reading on the whole Idaho 4 case. If my mods would put, I can get Sloan's out there, but if someone can put Revelation Tarot's link, I would appreciate it. I got Sloan's pulled up here right now. So this is Sloan Bella. And if you want to see a reading of the whole Idaho 4, that's where you would go. Revelation Tarot, if somebody doesn't have it, I can grab it quick. It hasn't been posted yet. Let me look. And she goes by Sue, Revelation Sue. Okay, that's more. Words. There she is. Okay. See if anybody else has posted it. Okay, so Go, I think, has got one. And right there. I just posted one too with Revelation Sue. And yeah. Anyway, it'd be really interesting to have her on. I've never had a psychic on before. And like I said, I don't, because people get weird about it and stuff. And I don't. When I lost my son, I tried anything and everything. I read books like Embraced by the Light, all those kind of books. I needed help. I needed help, and to know that my son was okay. And I wanted to learn about the afterlife a lot more. And so I really got into that, into the psychics and stuff like that. And Sylvia Brown, I love her. She was on, what was his name? The bald head, black dude. what was his name? She was always on that show. God, I haven't seen him in a long time. What was his name? Montel. Thank you, Debbie. Yes, Montel. Was it Williams? Montel Williams? Is that right? Jeez, my mind is going. I'm telling you, I can't remember shit, man. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show because there was a lot to it. And I want to thank my producers and who are Coco and Plot Waffle and Moonflower and everybody that helps produce on this show. A lot of people have. Deborah Ackland has a lot of people. Deborah Lynn Polly, a lot of them. But Coco's kind of my main producer. I'm just gonna let you know, and she does an awful great job, awesome job. Anyway, and I want to thank my subs. And hey, we're 30 away. Last I looked, 30 away from 6,000. Let's get that 6,000. Please like and subscribe. Where is that little deal? I got new things. Oh, I got to show you new things that StreamYard's got. Okay, I got to show you some new things here. I can do this here. A little thank you in the top. A little like and subscribe. But here's the fun part. Thank you. The drum roll bongles. Heartbeat. And okay, and I want to introduce Mr. Scott Green. And that and a little slide. Uh-oh. Here comes Jack Showalter. And this is what I do. This is what I do when I'm trying to do this case. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much. And I love you all from the bottom of my heart. You are definitely my soul. And until next time. Oh, you know what? No, maybe not that. Yeah, we'll do a little hash pipe. Till next time, rock and roll. I forgot. Yeah, today is blood moon time, isn't it? You know what? I don't know if I have anything with blood. I got one of my own, but I don't have it uploaded. I have one that's called Shoot the Moon. It's my own that came off my very first album. But I don't know if I got anything about moon on here. I'm looking. I kind of forgot about that. I don't have anything on there about moon. No, I don't. Anyway, I'm sorry. I should have prepared for that, but I didn't. So anyway, until next time, you're rock and roll.
I want to dedicate this one to Mr. Ozzy Osbourne, who lost his life, one of the best to ever do it, ladies and gentlemen. The song's called Hellhounds on My Trail. 1, 2, 3, 4. Devil, and he knows me. Well, I know the devil, and he knows me. He talked to me by the old oak tree. Talked to me by the old oak tree. Say I got a good price. Oh, my soul. Say I got a good price. Oh, my soul. Make me the king of rock and roll. One got hellhound. One my trail. Hellhounds on my trail. Hellhounds on my trail. Hellhounds on my trail. Hellhounds on my trail. You dance with the devil and you pay the price. You dance with the devil and you pay the price. But from the gates of paradise, but from the gates of paradise. Don't you fall for that crocodile smile. Don't you fall for that crocodile smile. Don't you fall for that low down style. One got hellhound, one my train. Hellhounds on my train. Hellhounds on my train. Hellhounds on my train. Hellhounds on my pray the Lord my soul. I pray the Lord my soul to take. Well, if I die before I wake, if I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. Come on. Why God hellhounds on my track? Hellhounds on my track. Hellhounds on my track. Hellhounds on my track. Hellhounds on my track. I said I got